if you're spooked about something, then you're like afraid.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a cheesy afraid. It's not like a visceral afraid.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think of.
Hey folks, welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is our bottom 5, that is to say numbers 10 through 6, spooky games.
Yep.
I hate that word.
You do?
I don't like it.
You should cut in Vincent Price's face over your head when you say that.
Spooky. Spooky is a arbitrary term in my opinion. It just has a weak definition. I think horror games would probably be better. Just think games that would be fun to play on Halloween.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. But spooky is a little bit more pithy for a thumbnail.
Sure. Well, it also is more in the theme of, or in the spirit. That's what I meant to say.
The spirit of Halloween. Be careful. That might be trademarked. That's a store in the mall.
I didn't say that.
Yep, didn't say that. Be careful. This one was a heavier list for me. It's probably just going to be a heavy list, like for him, like normal. I think I had...
not a heavy list for me.
Really?
In fact, I have 2 really super light games on here, which that probably drags
Which means
down.
that they were like a 2.8.
No, they're in the ones. 1, 5, and below.
So my heaviest game was a 3.7.
Oh. My heaviest game was less heavy than yours. 3.54.
My, how the tables have turned.
That's right.
What? Okay, your lightest one.
My lightest game is a 1.14. We're talking about spooky Halloween games. Come
My
on.
lightest was a 1.83.
Nice.
1.83. So I got you on both of them.
That's right.
All right, now here's the real kicker. Average.
2.49.
2.45.
Oh, see.
Dang it! It's a pretty even-keeled list, I guess you could say, of games that would play well on Halloween. Let's get to it. All right, my number 10 is actually a solo-only game. And that's the only reason it is at the bottom of my list, because I'm thinking more than likely you're going to have a Halloween party, you're going to have some friends over or something to that effect, and you're going to have more people with you.
Yep.
If it's just you and your significant other, you could still play a solo mode game. You just play it together. So that's the only reason why this one's on my number 10. Otherwise, it would be much higher because I really enjoy it. This is called Final Girl. It's a great solo game, great solo experience. It could be played as a cooperative experience, but Final Girl is so fun, and it's super thematic. Doesn't matter to me. I've only played a couple of the different packages or scenarios of Final Girl. You need the core box, and then and the core box comes with a few different. I'm looking at him because
it doesn't come with it. There are different scenario packs.
It doesn't come with any scenario packs?
The core box comes by itself, so it comes with nothing. Unless you buy, I think if you buy it in like a combo, you get it with one more.
Yeah, okay. But you can buy scenario packs that have different themes on them. And they're all based around the tropish horror movies that you would find out there. I've only played a couple of them, to be specific. I've played them multiple times, but I've played the Mrs. Claus versus Krampus, and I've played the Ripley versus the Xenomorph.
Xenomorph, yep.
And those are the 2 that I've played. Super thematic experiences. Really, so that's one of the reasons why. That was a big thing for me for this list, is how much does the theme pull over on top of the mechanisms.
Broke that rule a little bit, but you'll understand why when I get there.
Okay. All right, that's cool. But that's my number 10, Final Girl. It's a great game.
Shouldn't be this low, but that's fine.
No, it definitely shouldn't. But just because it's a solo-only game, that's why it's low.
So, yeah, and I tried to pick games that give you that good feeling, but there's, that feeling of Halloween and stuff like that. Yes. But there are ones in here that are going to break that because I wanted to put them in anyways. All right, my number 10 is a cool little game from Smirk and Laughter called The Night Cage. In The Night Cage, put this on. Thematically is really cool. In The Night Cage, you and whoever else is with you are working together cooperatively, but you've been dropped into this labyrinth, which is pitch black. It's dark. All you have is a candle each, and it's a little board with 5 tile by 5 tile, I think it is, or 6 by 6 maybe. But you're in this magical labyrinth. So if you come off of a tile here, you can actually wrap all the way around and end up on a tile here.
Yep.
The problem is you can only see 1 tile away from you at any time, and you're trying to crawl through this rocky labyrinth, or this rocky, just picture little tiny tight caverns, or little tiny tight tunnels, and you're crawling through.
It's like forced spelunking.
That's right, and not happily. And there's there's monsters in there that want to blow out your candle. When they do that, then you can no longer see past your tile. The trick is if you can't see it, the tiles fall off the board, and something else will be there next time somebody can see it. So
Yeah,
tiles
that's not creepy at all.
It's not creepy at all, but it's very creepy. So, and the only way to get your candle relit is to have somebody else crawl over to you and relight your candle for you so you can see. But there's always a chance that you move forward and you fall, and if you fall, you end up in a random place somewhere else, but it's bad for everybody, and it's all based on the time the game is played. You have a stack of tiles, but before that tile stack goes away, you have to find 4 keys, or keys for as many people as you have, and get them to a gate. So if you find the gate, if somebody finds the gate and they don't have a key, somebody has to stay next to the gate to keep it open, because if you walk away, the gate will go away. It'll be gone. Like, nobody can find it again. And it's gone. So, like, there's all this kind of things. Or if I have a key and I find another key spot, I pretty much have to stay there and wait for somebody else to come get that key.
Wow.
Did we mention the tunnels are so tight that you can't fit in the tunnel together? So, yeah, it's just this really cool little game.
It is.
You're
It's very
crawling
cool.
through with a candle. It's pretty desperate, and you're trying to get the keys and not have all your candles blown out by the monsters.
I seriously considered about 25 different games, and this is one of them.
Yeah,
it just
this is
didn't
a
make the
really
cut.
cool game, very thematic.
Yep.
Play it with the lights low and the uncandlelight and
Yep.
some creepy music.
Very cool. Very cool. Delving into the lighter fare, Final Girl's about as a 2.7. The other 4 of my games on this segment are going to be well below that. I just had to put Final Girl in there because it's such a great thematic experience, and it needs to be on a list like this.
Yep.
Number 9 is one of 3 zombie games.
Oh.
Now, I am a rather large proponent for the zombie genre. It's usually what I go for in a horror type experience. I don't generally like the more sinister side of horror themed games or movies or TV shows or whatever.
By
Like that
sinister,
stuff.
you mean more supernatural?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. More supernatural and evil.
Yeah, that's where the spooky comes from.
That's pretty much what it's true.
All right, anyways.
This one is called Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. Now, this is much less on the highly thematic version of the game. It's much more cheeky. It's much more on that tropish level of, as far as the theme is concerned. But it's still there, and it's fun. It's also a much more lighthearted game than a spooky game. But it definitely fits the bill, and I think if you get into it, it definitely can do that. So basically, each player is going to take on the role of a survivor after the apocalypse has happened, the zombie apocalypse, and you've got a bunch of zombies headed down your corridor, basically, and you're trying to fight them off in zones 1, 2, and 3 as much as you can. While you're doing that, you're also picking up other survivors that are coming alongside you, and they're kind of like sidekicks. They can help you out do certain things. You can also use them as meat shields and all this other kind of stuff. There's a possibility that you're going to have to fight the alpha zombie that is wandering around town, guiding his hordes of minions to do their bidding. But you're basically just trying to get through the location deck and find the edge of town. So that you're basically just fighting your way out of town. And it's very tropish, but it's very lighthearted and it's very fun. And that's one of the reasons why it made the list. And that's why it's lower on the list, because it's less of a thematic choice more than I think this is the kind of game that you can get a lot of different people to play.
Sure.
Whether
That's a
or
good
not they
game
like
to-
Halloweens or not.
Good game to play in October.
Sure. Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded. Go check it out.
Excellent. That's a great game. All right, my number 9 is the heaviest game on my list. I really tried to, when I think of spooky, I think of lighter, more more.
Sure.
But there are multiple variations of spooky. But this is the heaviest game on this list, and this is Arkham Horror, the card game, from Fantasy Flight Games. And in this game, you're taking on an investigator, and you have your own deck of cards. Everybody has their own deck of cards. This is one of those games where you can build your own deck.
Is this cooperative?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's one of those games where you can build your own deck. Kind of like in Marvel Champions or whatever else. You build your own deck. Everybody builds their own deck. And then you're going through and you're just taking actions. You're trying to figure out whatever the scenario is. The scenario might be, go through this old dilapidated church and find out what's going on. Whatever. And on your turn, you get 3 actions. There's a mythos phase that happens, where all the supernatural stuff happens. But this is very thematic, extremely thematic. You're going into rooms, you're checking for things, you're finding supernatural obstacles in your way. You're using different, signs. I think they're called signs. Different ruin type signs.
Yep.
To solve things and to save things and to not do bad things and not release demons into this world and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very thematic game.
Egon says that would be bad.
If that would be bad, Ray. Yes, but anyways, this is a very thematic game. It's a very cool game. The one downside of this game, and the reason it's this down lower on this list, is setup for it is fairly atrocious. It's a bear.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game that you play all the time and you're really good at it. But just to pull it out once a year or something like that is pretty tough. But it is really cool, really thematic. If it wasn't for that setup, it'd be much higher on my list. So, my number 9, Arkham Horror, the card game.
Good pick. My number 8
There you go.
also falls along the lines of that cheeky, tropish, lighthearted, fun type of feeling for a list like this. This one's called Scooby-Doo.
There you go.
The board game. And this one's from CMON Global. And I actually did not have high hopes for this game at all. Not even close. Then I played it. Nice. And I'm like, dude, this is like walking through an episode of Scooby-Doo. Yeah. It is so cool. So if you've got if you've got kids in your group that like Scooby-Doo, maybe they don't even know about Scooby-Doo at this point.
But they all do.
But if you have a bunch of people that grew up with Scooby-Doo, this would be a great game to play at a Halloween party or something like that. I think it only holds 4 players, but it's one of those games where you can fudge that a little bit, I think. But it's got really simple mechanisms, but it does carry that theme of running around town, trying to figure out that mystery, trying to put all the pieces together cooperatively while you're running away from this specter, ghost, or whatever it might be. It's definitely a townsfolk that's dressed up as
an
whatever.
Old man that looks like me
That's true.
Says, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those darn kids.
Absolutely. Now, I will say this. There is a base game core version of this game, which is what I have.
Yep.
I also have seen the deluxe version of this game. Oh my goodness.
The van is
You have a real mystery
remote
machine
control.
van. No, I wish it was remote control. You have pre-painted minis.
Yeah, I've seen it
It's
actually.
just so nice. So I drool at you if you have the deluxe version, but if you don't, you can pick up the core box. It's pretty cool, and it still doesn't change gameplay at all. So that's my number 8, Scooby-Doo, the board game.
Nice. That's a good Halloween pick. All right, my number 8, I would assume is a crossover, although may not be by version, because my number 8 is Horrified.
Oh.
But if I'm going to play Horrified for Halloween, I think the original version is the version you play, because it's just that thematic old Dracula, the thematic old... See, I knew it. But you got the thematic old Dracula and Frankenstein and all of the good Halloween monsters. Like, Like, you don't watch a lot of shows with the chupacabra, but no, it's still...
That's a problem that needs to be fixed.
But really, Horrified is a great game in whatever version. For this list, I picked original Horrified because of all the old movies, the old movie monsters.
It's a good
Swamp
show.
Thing and all those kind of things. So my number 8 is Horrified. Everybody should own this game. You're just traveling around.
I agree with that.
Traveling around this little town, trying to get rid of whatever monster. Every monster has their own means and methods of defeating them.
Yep.
At the same time, bystanders are coming up, and you're trying to get them across town before they get eaten or kidnapped or whatever else happens to them in the game. But other than that, Horrified is a fantastic game.
Absolutely agree.
And that's my number 8.
Very cool. My number 7 is a game that was made and themed around one of my favorite TV series that is found on Netflix, and that is Stranger Things Upside Down. Now, you and I have played it once.
I like it.
2-player.
Yeah.
I played it yesterday with 3 players, and we got our butts handed to us.
It's difficult.
It's a hard game.
Didn't we get our butts handed to us, too?
We did.
Yeah.
We absolutely
This game is cool, man.
It was really, actually, very neat. Now, I was a little gun-shy on it because even with all of the high production quality that Simon always puts in, I had read rule books of other Stranger Things games, and I'm like, well, this sucks.
I didn't have any expectations for this one.
Really?
I figured it would be garbage.
Really? You did?
I didn't think it was
coming from
be...
coming from Simon Global. I
that's
didn't
true.
think it would be absolute garbage.
I didn't think it was going to be very good.
Sure.
I was very pleasantly
Turns out
surprised.
we were wrong.
Okay.
Turns out
really
we were
cool.
wrong. This is a really good game, and if you like Stranger Things, this is the Stranger Things game that you need to get.
Yep.
Because it really does encapsulate the sense of anxiety, fear, and just you don't know what's going to happen next. That's right around the corner. That the whole TV series kind of brings to a head. It is a mathematical game, and we're just talking about like addition and subtraction. That's it. But that's really at its core. You're trying to move around to do different things. You're trying to go investigate the lab. You're trying to go gather information. You're trying to save the little boy and all of this other kind of stuff. And you're trying to help Elle out at these different things. And Elle has 4 special abilities that you can do, but they're only one time a use game. It's just a lot of stuff that's really cool. You have a stack of tokens. Each of them have a different number on them, and from 0 to 5. And you have to spend action cards, which have action points on them, to either get equal to or above that stack of tiles.
But you don't know what all the numbers are.
You don't know what all the numbers are, so you're trying to puzzle out what it could be, and I think I'll be safe playing this many cards. But on top of that, you're having to draw scene cards, which are basically event cards, mechanically speaking. And those really just kind of kick you right in the stomach every single time.
You can do more on your turn, but you have to draw more scene cards at the end of your turn, which makes it even worse.
Yes, that is correct. And your action deck represents what act of the game you are in. In Act 1, you only have to draw 1 scene card, but in Act 2, you draw 2. In Act 3, you have to draw 3, and that's after every person's turn.
Yeah.
It's really a rough game, really tough, but it's very thematic, very fun, and it has both Season 1 and Season 2 on the backside. So it's a double-sided board, and you get Season 1 and Season 2 in the same box. Really fun. That's my number 7. Stranger Things Upside Down.
I'm glad you put that one on there. All right, my number 7 is a very new to me game, and this is a very light game with a 1.5 rating currently on the Geek. It may raise or lower. It'll be about there when it's done.
He does play other kinds of games.
But this is a brand new game, as far as I know, brand new to me at least, from Smirk and Dagger Games, and it's called This Game is Killer. In this game, it's true.
It's killer.
You have this little ship, this little spaceship called the USS Ganymede or something like that. I don't remember what the name is. But it has like 8 locations in it, depending on the player count. If you play with fewer players, you start with 6 locations. For every one of those locations, there's a location card. There's an alien on this ship.
Well,
Okay, and on your turn, every single person, this is a party game and it goes really fast. On your turn, every single person gets 2 cards. They're location cards. They both have a location on them, and if you flip them over, they have an action on them. On your turn, you're going to play one as a location and one as an action. And you have to decide. The location is where your character currently is on the board. There's also this number system on it. So if you have a higher number on your card, it might be a little bit better card. But also if the alien shows up there, you get eaten first. So, but anyways, you play one as a location and one as an action. The action might be vent the entire airlock. So the problem is everybody else, you're all working together to try to kill the alien.
Yeah.
But if I play that I'm going to vent the airlock first, that might help everybody else know not to go to the airlock that round, but then they have to play their other card, which might mean take the machine gun and shoot everybody in my room. But now they don't know what room I'm in, so if it comes back and I'm in the same room they're shooting, then I get killed.
Is there a takeoff and nuke from orbit card?
There might be. It's very possible. That's probable. There's one card in there that says flee and just win, just like take an escape pod and get out.
Yeah.
And basically cowardice is what it's called or something like that. If you play that one and the alien gets in that room, of course you get eaten first. But if there's any other player that ends up in your room, they shoot you for being a coward and you lose the game. You're out.
That's not cool.
So it's kind of okay, well, if I play this at the right time, I might be able to get out. But if not, and somebody steps in the room with me, then I get taken out. So it's just a fun little game. You're trying to find the alien. You're trying to destroy the alien by blowing up the airlock or by shooting them with a BMG or whatever else. It's like supposed to be like all the big things that happen in an alien movie,
Sure.
all at once. But the rooms keep getting destroyed and smaller in the deck, so the building gets smaller where the aliens is smaller, and you're trying to survive and get the alien out first. It's a fun little party game. Like I said, it probably
is killer.
Yep, probably takes 15 minutes for the whole game.
That's cool.
And you can play it multiple times.
You play it multiple times, yeah. That's fun.
So
that's
this
really
game
cool.
is killer. It's a new one for me, but it is quite fun. And you want to be playing this with people that are in the mood to be a little bit slapstick.
Yep.
You don't want to play this serious.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, that's my number 7. This game is killer.
That's a fun pick. All right, my number 6, the last one for this segment, is a 2.16 on the Geek for complexity. And it is the better version of Horrified. It's called American Monsters. Don't get me wrong, Horrified, period. If you do any of them. The Universal Monsters, American Monsters, Greek Monsters, or the new one that just came out that I haven't even played yet, but I'm willing to say it would also be a good pick for you because it's based on the same system. Basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to go around this town, gathering up the townsfolk that are there. You're also trying to gather up different items that you can use to help solve the different puzzles that will take out the other monsters. Yep. You're really just trying to solve puzzles in the most efficient manner, but you're racing against a horror track that if it reaches 0, then everybody freaks out and the monsters have overrun the town and what have you. That's basically what you're doing. But I like the American Monsters best. It's got Bigfoot in there. It's got the Chupacabra, like JT said earlier. It's got this lady up in
the Banshee of the
Midwest.
The Banshee of the Wildlands, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Banshee. And then it's also got the New Jersey Devil that's in there.
Yep.
I just like the more lore-istic feeling that this one has.
That's what I was saying. Those are, and they're better, like mechanically, they're a little bit better than the other ones. Yeah. But yeah, they're more lore and superstition based, whereas the first one is more, old Halloween monster trope type of thing.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason I said that. So
the game system, Horrified, you can't go wrong with it.
Super fun,
as far as I'm
Family
concerned. But depending on which one of these you like, go for that one. But any of the 4 that are available right now would scratch that itch. That's my number 6, Horrified, American Monsters, the better of the 2.
All right. My number 6 is a zombie game, and this is the quintessential survival horror game. called Resident Evil.
Quintessential.
Yep, quintessential. Like this is the
boy.
cream of the crop, Resident Evil.
Oh, wow.
There's 20.
It's cream of the crop. It is number 6.
Well, yeah, this isn't a Resident Evil list. We could do a Resident Evil top 10. Anyways,
I couldn't.
Resident Evil. This is in particular the first one. But it definitely gives you that horror theme, that, survival horror. You don't know what's in the next room. You've got to run from zombies. You've got 5 bullets left in your gun, and you've got to make it past these 3 zombies without getting eaten. And it's just, it's a map. It's like a dungeon crawl type scenario, the way that it plays out. But you have to, be very judicious with the items that you have, with the bullets that you have, and everything else, and try to get through whatever the scenario is. So there's no miniguns, there's no machine guns, there's no mowing down hordes of zombies.
Sounds boring.
It's horror themed, spooky. Anyways, that's my number 6, Resident Evil. The spookiest of the spooky
The
zombie games.
spookiest of the...
That's
okay,
right.
so it's the quintessential spooky zombie game.
That's right.
There we go. Okay.
That's right.
Well, that's it. That is our bottom 5. You can head over to the Flipside right now and watch our top 5 spooky games because I set it up for both of these videos to go live at the same time.
That's
so
nice.
as soon as you're done here, you can go over there and watch the top 5. Let us know what you think in the comments here. Give us your... thoughts on what games did we miss?
Yep.
What games do you think you agree with? What games are we wrong about? You let us know. We'll respond. Yeah, that's true.
We'll respond.
This is our
Best
opinion. We can't be wrong about it. So that's just the way it is. Anyway, thanks for joining us here. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side, however. Take care.
See you later.